Okay, so let's talk about academic writing. For a lot of us, it feels like a total chore, right? Something you just have to get through. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? Today, we're going to reframe this whole thing, not as a boring task, but as a genuinely powerful way to think and create. Let's get into it. So, I want to start with a question that's probably on your mind. Is academic writing really just about sounding smart? Using big words, getting your grammar perfect, making your sentences super complex? It's a common thought. But the real answer? Well, it's a lot more interesting than that. You see, the big shift happens when you stop thinking about writing as just a language skill and start seeing it for what it truly is, an intellectual practice. It's not really about the words you choose, it's about the quality of your thinking, how you build an argument, and how you actually construct knowledge. So, first things first, we have to redefine what we're even doing here. This isn't about passing a vocabulary test at all. Real academic writing is about disciplining your thoughts, giving them structure and clarity. And that whole process, it starts way before you ever type a single word. This brings us to a really crucial idea. Writing is an active process. You're not just a reporter passively listing facts you found. No way. You are an active builder of knowledge. You're the one interpreting, evaluating, and validating ideas so that you can join a much larger scholarly conversation. And that's exactly why most writing problems don't actually start on the page. They start in your head. A fuzzy argument or unclear thinking can't be fixed with fancy sentences. The real work, the hard work, is always the intellectual heavy lifting you do beforehand. All right, so if writing is really just thinking on paper, how do we build a solid foundation for it? Well, it turns out it all comes down to three fundamental pillars. Seriously, every single credible piece of scholarship you've ever read is built on these. Pillar number one is your argument, or hujja. Think of this as the logical spine of your entire paper. It's the clear, step-by-step path you create that walks your reader from your starting point all the way to a conclusion that feels totally convincing and earned. Next up, pillar number two, evidence, or book T. This one is absolutely non-negotiable. It's the proof you offer for every single claim you make. Evidence is what turns your work from just, your personal opinion into a real, verifiable analysis. Without it, your argument is just, it's just hot air. And that brings us to the third and final pillar, ethics, or etika. This is all about intellectual honesty and integrity. It means citing your sources correctly, being totally upfront and accurate with your data, and being transparent about how you did your work. It's basically the bedrock of trust in the academic community. Okay, so once you have those three pillars firmly in place, you are ready for the fun part, actually joining the scholarly conversation. This is the moment your writing stops feeling like homework and starts becoming a real contribution. I want you to picture it like this. Every single academic field is basically one giant ongoing conversation. It's happening in journals, in books, at conferences, all the time. And your paper? That's you stepping up to the microphone and adding your voice to that dialogue. You're not just writing into the empty air. You're speaking directly to a community of your peers. But how do you actually do that? Well, there are four main ways you can jump into the conversation. You can answer a question that other people are asking. You can support an existing idea with new evidence. You can reject a claim by pointing out its flaws. Or you can expand on someone else's idea and take it somewhere totally new. So here's the bottom line. If you want to be heard in this conversation, you absolutely have to take a clear intellectual stand. If your argument is weak or buried, people just won't engage with it. Your contribution has to be something that your peers can actually grab onto, whether it's to agree, disagree, or build on top of it. Now let's zoom out a little bit and see how your one paper fits into the bigger picture. Because it's not just a standalone document, it's a piece of a much larger academic ecosystem, a whole system designed to build and check our collective knowledge. In this system, writing plays some really key roles. It takes our fuzzy ideas and turns them into something solid, something that can actually be tested. It works like a quality control system for the whole community. And by putting knowledge out there for everyone, it becomes a shared community asset, which in turn helps build your own reputation and credibility as a scholar. To make sure you stay on the right track, it's super important to remember what academic writing is and what it isn't. It is analysis based on solid evidence, grounded in logic and data. It is not your personal diary for venting opinions, and it's not a place for creative writing that isn't bound by the rules of evidence. All right, let's wrap this up by talking about the three things that should guide every single authoritative writer. Think of this as your compass, the tool that ensures your work doesn't just get written, but actually gets read, respected, and maybe even remembered. This compass has 3 points: clarity, accuracy, and coherence. Clarity means your ideas are simple and direct, no confusion. Accuracy is all about being meticulous with your data and your sources. It's what makes people trust you. And coherence is the logical glue that holds everything together, making your argument flow smoothly from one point to the next. The source material calls these qualities epistemological prerequisites. Whoa, big phrase, right? But it's just a powerful way of saying these things aren't just nice to haves. They're not optional. Without them, your writing loses all its analytical punch and just becomes a story or a jumble of vague ideas. So let's end on this thought. That next paper you have to write, it's not just another assignment on your to-do list. It is your ticket to join a global conversation that's been going on for centuries. It's your chance to add something to it. So the only real question left is, what are you going to say?